Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 11. We will present our presentation about one of learning model that can be applied in the classroom. Alright, before we going to the material, I would like to share my experience. This is one of interesting experience for me. One day, there is a student of elementary school. He said that, "Ma'am, why the numbers of 20 are 2 and 0? Why not the other number like 3 and 0, 4 and 0, or 5 and 0? Why should 2 and 0? I think this is a quite critical question for me. So I ask you, if you get the same question like that, what's your answer? How you explain about it? We think together. And now we focus on the material. In this stage, we will discuss about the PBL or problem-based learning. Have you ever heard about the PBL, or you have ever applied these models in your class? Let's see the definition of PBL. Many experts are doing research of these models. The experts give their information, give their perspective, argument, suggestion, or maybe create the new theory about this model. So in this slide, we take several definitions based on the expert, such as Dutch in 1995 and Frankel and Thorpe in 1995. Based on the several definitions, it can be concluded that PBL is learning model that apply the problems in the real-life context for students to practice how to create critical thinking and get skill to solve the problem. In this slide, there is 5 characteristics of PBL by Barrow and Minliu in 2005. The first is leaning student-centered. PBL focus in student-centered. Therefore, PBL is also supported by constructivism theory, where the students are encouraged to be able to develop to their own knowledge. And the second, authentic problems from the organizing focus for learning. So the problem will present it to student is authentic problem. So the students are able to easily understand about the problem or the material, and the students can apply it later in their professional life. And the third, new information is acquired through self-directed learning. So the student try to find source by themselves. The student can take the source from book, article, journal, or other information. And the fourth, learning occurs in small group. PBL is carried out in small groups. The group created requires a clear division of tasks and clear the application of objectives. And the last, teachers act as facilitators. The teacher should always monitor the development of students' activity and encourage them to achieve the target in learning process. Okay, this is the elements of PBL. They are integrated learning, active learning, contextual learning, learning interesting, and constructivist learning. Integrated learning are involving aspects of students. In this slide about the elements of PBL, they are integrated learning, active learning, contextual learning, learning interesting, and constructivist learning. Integrated learning. learning are involving aspects of students' development and integrated all fields of learning. Active learning. Students as active learning subjects to determine, to conduct, and to evaluate the problem or the subject matter. Plan, do, and review. Contextual learning. Students learn something real that happened and experienced in their life, and students also get the benefit in learning for their real life. And the fourth, learning interesting. Learning is more interesting and enjoyable for students because students are directly involved in determining the problem, and they will find alternative solution to solve the problem. And the last, constructivist learning. Learning by doing. Students build their thought, direct experience or hand-on experience. Next to the goal of PBL. PBL has several important goals. Based on according to Burrows and Kelson in 1995, it is designed to help students to construct an extensive and flexible knowledge basis, to develop effective problem-solving skill, to develop self-directed lifelong learning skill, become effective collaborators, and then become intrinsically motivated to learn. And in this is the media for problem-based learning, which can be used by teacher or the student in these models. So the information can be obtained through print media such as book, paper, newspaper, or etc. And then teacher and students can use a picture related to the material or the topic. Media audio such as video or record that can be used to convey the material and etc. And the last, the teacher and student can use ebook. The source can be reached by internet or the soft file. This is the steps or activities of problem-based learning. There are 7 steps in here. The first is explore the issue. Students gather necessary information, learn new concepts, principles, and skill about the proposed the topic. And the second, state what is known. The students or groups list what they already know about the scenario, about the list, about the problem, what areas they are lacking information. And the third step, define the issues. Frame the problem in the context of what is already known and information the student expect to learn. The fourth, research the knowledge. Students or groups find resources and information that will help the student to create a compelling the arguments. And the fifth, investigate solutions. The students or groups list possible action or alternative solution to the problem and formulate it and test the potential hypothesis. And the sixth step, present and support the chosen solution. Clearly state and support student or group conclusion with relevant information and of course the evidence. And the last, review your performance. This is a crucial step in improving students' problem-solving skill. So the student should evaluate their performance and plan improvement for the next problem. Alright, this is the special slide. We would like to explain about our perspective, our thinking based on our analysis of the material. We call this perspective as a target point. A successful PBL if this model achieves this target. There are three targets of it. The first, students can find problems or topics from the material that has been given. The second, students can solve and find alternative solutions. And the last, students can decide the solution in the form of ideas that are better for solving the problem or understanding the material. So, if students can achieve this target, it means that the learning model of PBL it works and perfect to apply it in the classroom.
Thank you, Mbak Sinta. Good morning, Ma'am Anggani. Good morning, all of my friends. Me, Dian Aprianti, would like to continue about the advantages and disadvantages of problem-based learning. Here is the advantages of problem-based learning. The first one is students are encouraged to have the ability to solve problem in real situation. And then the student have the ability to build their own knowledge through learning activities. And then the learning focuses on the problem so that the material that is not related doesn't need to be studied by the students. This reduces the burden on the student by memorizing or storing information. And then the students are accustomed to using search of knowledge both from the library, the internet, interviews, and observations. The next one is the individual student learning difficulties can be overcome through group works in the form of peer teaching. Then the last one, the student have the ability to carry out the scientific communication in discussion or presentation of the result of their work. For disadvantages of problem-based learning, there are problem-based learning cannot be applied to every subject matter. There is a part of the teacher playing an active role in presenting the material. Then, problem-based learning is not appropriate for the learning that demands certain abilities related to the problem solving. And the last is, in the class that has a high level of student diversity, there will be difficulties in the distribution of an assignment.
And this is the conclusion of PBL theory. PBL or problem-based learning is learning that exposes students to real-world problems to start learning. Problems are given to students before the students learn concepts or material relating to the problem that must be solved. To resolve the problem, students will know that they need new knowledge that must be learned to solve problem that given. I think that's all the explanation about problem-based learning. For the next material will be presented by Dian Aprianti as second presenter. Thank you so much. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Now I will continue with the video analysis and the lesson plan that is possible, that is used in the video. Okay, for the video analysis, here the learning model video of curriculum in senior high school. It is the curriculum 2013, and for the basic competence is 3.4 and 4.4, where the topic is descriptive text. And the subject is SMAN Sumatera Selatan or National Referral School, and the learning methods is problem-based learning, with the choice of gallery work method aims to foster the value of communication and collaboration. And this method is used in the stage of collecting data information. The aim of the learning that the students are expected to be able to identify and distinguish social functions, the structure of the text, and language pictures of the descriptive text. The value of the learning. The value expected could expand in this study included 4C. The first one, communication. The second one, collaboration. The third one, critical thinking. And the last one is creativity. For the communication, it is appropriate with the characters of problem-based learning that learning occurs in a small group in a class that will be force the student to make some conversation, to communicate each other, and also with the teacher. And this will motivate and enhance the student's speaking ability. For the collaboration, which is the process of participation of several students or groups participate and who work together to achieve the result, and collaboration accomplishes a shared vision, achieve positive result, and build interrelated systems and for overcoming problems and opportunities. Thus, it will increase critical thinking. And for the critical thinking, it means intellectual thinking, such as like analyzing, reasoning, problem solving, creative thinking, and making judgment, and good decision maker. By problem-based learning, it also requires students to think critically before decided what they have to do. Therefore, it will help them to be a critical thinker. And the last, creativity. While creativity is related to the finding for new solutions to solve the problems. For the learning steps, the sequence of learning steps includes problem orientations, class management or gathering information, research problem, this is the discussion in the group, presentation of research results after the student have finished the discussion, and the last is evaluation or conclusion. Here is the lesson plan that is possible, that is used from the video learning. The school name is SMAN Sumatra. The subject is English lesson, and the class is 10th grade and the first semester, and time allocation is 2 meetings, with each meeting is 45 minutes, and for the learning topic is descriptions. For the main competencies, here is applying, analyzing, factual knowledge, conceptual, procedural, based on curiosity about the science, technology, art, culture, and humanities, national, state, and civilizations, insight related to the causes of phenomena and event, and apply the procedural knowledge to the specific files of a study in accordance with their talents and interest in problem solving. For the next main competency is cultivating, reasoning, and serving in the realm of concrete and abstract domains related to the development of what they learned in the school and independently, and be able to use the method according to the scientific principle. For the basic competencies, here is 3.4. It is distinguish the social function, the structure of the text, and grammatical features of several like oral and written descriptive texts by giving and requesting information related to the famous of tourism place, historical buildings, short and simple, according to the context of their use. Here is the indicators. The first one is identifying the social function, grammatical features, and the structure of the descriptive text, and analyzing and interpreting the information features in descriptive text. And the last one is classifying the adjective to describe objects. And the next basic competence is descriptive text, that the student should make a descriptive text or describe it like in written or oral or verbally. Then for the indicator, the student should make a descriptive text and describing about the famous place verbally. For the objective of the learning, at the end of the student are able here identifying the social function, grammatical features, and the structure of the descriptive text, and analyzing and interpreting the information of features in descriptive text. And the last is classifying the adjective to describe the object. For the learning material, there consists of 4. The first one is social function of the descriptive text, and about the grammatical feature of the text, for example, like simple present tense that it is in descriptive text, and etc. And then the structure of the text, and then the last is adjective. For the media of the learning that it use in video, that is LCD, laptop, relevant image, or and of course with an English book. For the learning step, there are consists of 5 based on the problem-based learning. The first one is problem orientation. The second one is class management or gathering information, and research the problem or discussion in groups, and then presentation of the result. Then the last is evaluation. This learning step will be explained later by Mas Alfat Prastowo. So, Mas Alfat, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Mbak Dian, for the time you have given to me. And I will continue Mbak Dian's explanations. Here, I will explain about how the learning process occurs in the classroom. Okay, in the beginning of the learnings, firstly the teachers enter in the classroom, and after that the teachers check the presence of the students, and next the teacher invites students to pray together before starting PBM, and next the teachers convey the learning indicator and the objective. And for apperceptions, here the teachers make apperceptions. For example, do you know what is guess it means? And then students choose the paper and give the clues to all students, and one of the students guess the animal. And for the last apperception is the teachers give apperception to the students who answers correctly. Next, for the problem orientation process, first here the students make the table consists of 2 columns. First column, what do you know about descriptive text? And second column, what do you want to know about descriptive text? And next, the students explore into the column what the teacher asks them about descriptive text. And after that, the teacher asks the students, after the students have done, to write what the students are now about descriptive text. And for the observing process, here there are 2. The first is the teacher asks the students to make 4 of discussion groups and give the students a different descriptive text of some places. And the last of observing process is the teachers guide the students about things that can be discussed from the pictures, especially about how to describe the pictures. And next is the asking process. Here the students ask questions to the teachers about the topic that should be discussed, while the teacher gives the next to the students. And next, the class management. Here the students read the text given by the teachers, and after that, in the discussions, one of the members of the group will describe in the group, while the other member will go to the other group. And after that, the teachers direct the students to move around to each group, decide one person to explain to another group. And next, the students start to move to other group and explain the text given by the teachers to other members in the group. And after that, in the last of class management is the member listen to the speaker's explanation and write it into their notes and ask these questions to the speakers about his or her explanations. And for the exploration process, the students back the group and share each other to describe the members, give information, and explain what they have now. And the second point of the exploration is the member in their groups make note of new information that is given by the speaker. And next, the students look for several words that relate to describing people. In this case, it's adjective. And the last exploration is the students mention the adjective word and classify it. And we are going to the associating process here. With the teachers' guidance and directions, students discuss the use of adjective itself. And next to the presentation of the research result. In this process, the students describe and explain the description text about place in front of the class. And after that, the students explain the students of each paragraph of the text. And next, The students explain the tenses that are used in the descriptive text. After that, the students explain the adjective that is used to describe something. And next, the students give highlights for the adjective of the text. And in the last presentation of research result, here the students read the sentence that are adjective inside and write in the whiteboard. And for the communicating process, here the teachers explain the pattern of adjective to make a descriptive text, and after that the students answer and choose the right answer with the pattern to use adjective. Next, for the evaluation process, here the students and teachers reflect on the activities that have been carried out, and the second evaluation is the teachers deliver a learning plan for the next meeting, and the last point of evaluation is the teacher give the project to the students. The students here go to the famous place and take a load of information and make some notes of it and describe of the famous place. And in the end of the learning process, here there are some 3 points that can be used by the teacher. The first is the teachers make sure to their students comprehension about the topic by asking to their students. And second point, the teachers pray together with the students before the class and the last in the end of the learning is the teachers greet to the students, and after that is the closing process. For example, we can say to our students, okay, see you next time, don't forget to read the next material. And or we can say, that's all our today's meeting. I hope you got the point, and I hope you can clearly with the material that we have discussed before. Okay, next we are going to the assessment. Here there are some assessment. The first is assessment technique, divided into two. The first is observation and the written test. And for the assessment procedure itself, here divided into two as we look at the pictures here. In red aspect, there are two sub of red aspect. The first is knowledge and the second is skill. And each of red aspect there are assessment technique, whereas for the knowledge is observation and the test, and for the skill is observation and written test. And the next assessment is the rating of the instrument. Here, based on the descriptive text, the students write about the place given and state what information the students get in the text. And the second is tell about place description. This is speaking activities. The students may explain in front of the class. And for next assessment is assessment guidelines here for writing rubric assessments. Yeah, there are some criteria to be assessed here. The first is text organization, the second is sentence formations, and the third is grammar, and the fourth is vocabulary, and the fifth is mechanic, and the last is tidiness and the deadlines. And for each criteria to be asserted, here there are some criteria of the performance itself. Start from low, good, and very good. And we can, after that, we can write the score. For low performance, we can write 7, and the good performance, we can write 8, and the 9 performance, and the very good performance, we can write 9. Okay. Next, we are going to the assessment guideline for speaking rubric assessments. Here, there are some indicators. The first is vocabulary. The second is spelling. The third is pronunciation. The fourth is fluency. And the fifth is accuracy. And for each of indicators, there are rubric criteria. Yeah, for each of indicator, there are some rubric criteria. Start from 1 until 3. We can choose what criteria that shown by our students, and after that we can write the score in the right of the table. And next is the last discussion is the evaluation of the learning process based on the video. Here's today's the implementation of the 2013 curriculum emphasized learning process that require higher order thinking skill, or we as usually say this HOTS. And this PBL learning model is one of model that can be relied upon. The PBL learning model or the problem-based learning is one of the effective approach to teaching high-level through process HOTS. This learning model will greatly help students to process information that has already become in their mind and complete their own knowledge about the social world and its surrounding. And that's all from us. I think the last we say Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
How are you today?
Good, excellent, and you?
I'm feeling great too. Okay, before we start our lesson today, it's better if we pray. Class captain, please lead the prayer.
Okay, friends, before we start our lesson today, let us pray. Pray, begin. Praise Allah.
Okay, anyone absent today?
No one, sir.
Okay, right. Let us move to moving class English for today. Let us go there. Class?
Yes!
Okay, for today, as I promised you last week, today we're going to learn about descriptive text. For today, I hope that you are able to first identify the social function, language feature, and structure of descriptive text. And for the second, you are able to analyze and interpret information featured in descriptive text. And the last, you are able to classify and the adjective to descriptive object. Right, before we study today, let's play guessing game. Do you know what is guessing game? Yes?
Okay, thanks for the choice. As I know, there are two ways to play it, through the picture or descriptive.
Yes.
And I prefer to the second one because I cannot draw it. So a person will say some clues relating to the objects and the other one will guess it.
Okay, thank you, Lady. Right, for the game, I will put you into two groups. And I have prepared some papers here. These papers contains names of animals that you are going to guess. Okay, please make two groups. So, group one and group two. Please sit facing. Okay, class?
Yes!
Right, I have some names of animals here in my hand. We will start our game today. We will start from group one with who?
Ajay.
And Ajay. Okay, Ajay, please come forward. Take one paper.
Okay, this animal lives in the sea, but it is mammals. It can swim and it has blue color, but the body is not too big.
Do you know what it is?
It must be no.
Okay.
Yes, is it true?
Yes. Now I please for group two, one of the member from group two to stand forward. Yes, Stephen, please. Take one.
Okay, listen carefully. This animal is only exists in Indonesia, and it has strong jaws and long tails, and it's very old. Can you guess it?
Yes.
Is it Komodo?
Yeah, that's true.
Okay guys, because this is the last round and you have the same score, 40 and 40, we will do the last round to find the winner of this game. I please one member from group 1 to stand up. Yes, Ari. Please pick one. Okay.
This animal has long hair, and although it is male, it is called as the king of the jungle. Can you guess? Lion. It's lion.
Is it lion?
Yes, that's true.
Yes, that's true. Okay, so the winner of this game today is Group 2. Okay, before we learn about descriptive facts, I want to know what you have known about descriptive facts. So for now, I place you to copy the table. Actually, it's not a table, but please make a table. 2 columns consists of what do you know about descriptive facts and what do you want to know about descriptive facts. Please do. Okay, class. Now I would like to know what you have known about descriptive facts. Anyone? Yes, Dian?
Descriptive text is a text to describe something.
Okay, thank you, Dian. How about the others? Do you want to add? Yes?
Descriptive text is a kind of text to describe something in details, such as place or things. But this text usually started by the general descriptions and also the specific description.
Okay, thank you for the great description, Arjun. Okay, what do you want to know about descriptive facts? Anyone? Yes, Indah?
I want to know the structure of the text so I can write a good descriptive text.
Okay, how about the others? Yes, Ibnu.
I would like to know how to describe something in a good sentence.
Alright. Okay, thank you for all the questions and your description about descriptive facts. Now, we are going to start to have a group discussion. I will put you into 4 groups. 1, 2, 3, and 4, because I have 4 texts for you today that has the descriptions of some places here. Right. Please make group 1, group 2, 3, and 4. Please sit in circle, so it's easier for you to have discussion. Okay, now I please you to read the text that I have given to you, and later we will have discussions, and also every you have to decide one member from each group to be the one who will describe the text to the other group, while the other member will go to another group. Please read now. Okay, I will tell you the mechanism of our discussion today. So, you will only have 10 minutes to move around to each group. And so, you have 3 groups, means that we only have 3 minutes at least for each group to move. And you have to decide one person to explain to another group. By the way, I have one last question before we start. Where can we find this kind of text usually? Yes?
I think we can find it in magazine or newspaper.
Yes, you can find this kind of text, descriptive text in magazine or newspaper. Okay, now we are about to start our discussion. I please you to stand up and move to the other group. Please.
I'm Ajeng Maisa Fitri. Welcome to Group 1. And now I want to explain to you about the Grand Bazaar Turkey. This is the Grand Bazaar Turkey. It's located in Istanbul and is it the one of the largest covered markets in the world, with 60 streets and 5,000 shops, and attract between 250,000 and 400,000 visitors daily. In this market, is it well known for its jewelry, hand-painted ceramics, carpets, embroideries, spices, and antique shops. You can also find the complex houses with 2 mosques, 4 fountains, 2 hammams, and several cafes and restaurants. This bazaar also has many gates. The Grand Bazaar has 4 main gates situated at the ends of its 2 major streets, which intersect near the southwestern corner of this bazaar. Is there any question?
What can I find at the Grand Bazaar Turkey?
You can find the complex houses with 2 mosques, 4 fountains, and 2 hammams. And also you can find 5,000 shops and several cafes and restaurants there.
Oh, okay. Means that I can shop some souvenirs there, can I?
Yes, really, you can buy many souvenirs there because in that Grand Bazaar Turkey, they have 5,000 shops there.
Okay, now I believe that you have known everything from the other groups. Now I please you to share your information to the other members from your group. Please do.
I'm going to input some information from the Grand Bazaar Turkey. So, Grand Bazaar Turkey is one of the largest markets in the world. We can find about 5,000 shops there, and not only that, it's well known as its jewelry, hand-painted ceramics, and many others. And also we can find complex houses and several cafes and restaurants, and we can also find some gates there.
Okay, thank you, Indah. Now I'm going to tell you about the Meiji Street in Tokyo. Meiji Street in Tokyo, the main complex of the street's building, is located 10 minutes walk from wood of southern entrance near Harajuku stations and the northern entrance near Yomiuri stations. At the middle of the forest, the major Jingu's building also have an air 10 kilometers distinct from the surrounding city. And this place, there are 3 main places of the Meiji stream. The first is Meiji Jingu, is one of the Japan's popular streets, and the second is Meiji Jingu's treasure house, which displays many interesting personal stuff of the empress and the kingdom. And the last is the inner garden, that is the most popular garden in these Meiji streets.
So I got information about Times Square in New York. So it is a most visited place in New York, and it has been transformated in 2012 and expected to finish in 2016. And it has many entertainment places here, and just like a large toys or US and also Disney toys. And it also has a Paramount building and visitor centers. It is a small museum of Times Square, New York, and it is in the past it is an invested theater for people there in New York, but now it is changed to become a museum of Times Square, New York.
Okay, I believe that you have known everything about the 4 tags. Now, I want to know about New York City, Times Square, New York City. Arin?
So, I get information about Times Square, New York, that it is the most visited place in the world, and it is has been transformed in 2012 and expected to be finished in 2016. And it also has entertainment places such as Toys R Us and Disney Store. And it is also has Paramount building and visitor center. That it is actually the Embassy Theater, but now it is changed to become a museum of history about Times Square, New York. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Arin. Now, if you see the first paragraph of the text, can you describe what is it actually that you can say? Yes, Lily.
Okay, I think the first paragraph mostly tells us the general of information. Then the paragraphs after that, there are giving the details of the information.
Okay, giving details of information. Yeah. How about the tenses? What kind of tenses that we use? Okay.
The tense is, which is used mostly, is present tense.
Present tense. Thank you, Ina. So, actually, how do you describe something that's descriptive tense? Yes, Ajahn?
I realized that we can describe something by using the adjective.
The adjective. Yes, you can actually use adjective before noun to describe something. Now, I please you to underline or highlight some words from the text. Okay, can you give me the words? Yes, Ignu.
I got this line from the text Meiji Springs, Tokyo, a popular spiritual power spot.
Okay, can you write down on the board?
Yes, sure.
Thank you, Ibnu. Now we see here our spot. This one is the noun, and this one are adjective. Okay, class. So to describe something in descriptive text, you can use this adjective. But there is a rule for the order of adjective. You can start with opinion, size, age, shape, color, origin, and materials. You can see the example over there. Opinion can be like beautiful, size you can use like large, age can be young, or your age like 14 years old, young, new, and also the shape can be square or round. And the color?
Red, purple, and
green. The origin?
Swedish, Victorian, Chinese.
The place where the things that things came from, the origin, right? And the materials like glass, silver, wood. Now I have some question for you to answer. We'll see. Alright, now I have some question for you. Question number 1. You have to choose which one that you think it is true. A, B, or C. The true order. Who wants to answer? Yes, Melly.
So I think the answer is C. We took ride on an old blue Chinese bus.
Okay, a blue Chinese bus. How about number 2? Yes, Natalie.
The answer is A. I like 3 good reasons why you don't like spinach.
Yeah, 3 good reasons. How about number 3? Yes,
I
Suji.
think B. I like that really big old red antique tractor in the museum.
Okay, thank you. I think all the answers are correct. Class? Yes! Okay, now we are at the end of our lesson today. But before we close our lesson, let us conclude what we have learned today. How about descriptive text? What is it, descriptive text? Yes, Ajay.
Descriptive text is a kind of text to describe the places or things. But for today's lesson, we learned about the descriptive text about the places.
About places, about famous places. How about the structure of the text? Yes, Harry?
At the beginning, we have to find the general description, and the next we have to write the detailed information.
Yes, we have general information and detailed information. How about the language feature? We have the tenses. What tenses do we use? Yes.
Descriptive text use present tense, then also use adjective to describe the object.
Okay, right. Before we really close our lesson today, I have a project for you. So tomorrow or within this week, you have to go to some places, some famous places in Palembang. You can go to Ampera Bridge or Kamaran or Ijembo Mosque, and you have to give take lots of information and lots of description of the place that you visit. And next week we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna discuss about it. Do you have any questions? Yes.
I have a question. Do we need to write into paragraphs?
I don't think so. We will write it later, but I think it's better if you just take some notes. Okay. Do you have any questions? No. Okay, if you don't have any questions, let us close our lesson today by saying Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah.